Hi folks, today I want to talk about Toys R Us. Toys R Us will soon close all their stores because of a private equity firm that looted the company by saddling it with debt. I honestly have a hard time articulating how cartoonishly evil I find this. A bunch of rich capitalists bankrupting a toy store and making off like bandits sounds like the conflict of a kid's movie. And like any kid's movie, it has an over-the-top villain responsible for closing these toy stores. Bain. No, not that Bain. Although you know what? Now that I think of it, let's use this Bain as a stand-in for the Bain I have in mind. Some might remember hearing about Bain Capital during the 2012 election. Mitt Romney started the company. It used leveraged buyouts to buy companies, saddle them with debt, and then loot every bit of value they could before declaring bankruptcy. Bain did this to Toys R Us. They saddled them with so much debt they could not invest in their stores sufficiently to adapt and compete with other big box or online retailers that sell toys. And this is not even the first toy store they have done this to. They also did this to KB Toys shortly after Romney left the company. This did not happen by accident. According to Jerry Lynn Schofield of Naked Capitalism, writing about the company in September of 2017, far too many leveraged buyouts are simply asset stripping operations by Wall Street vultures who load the company with enormous debt, then asset strip the cash from the company by paying themselves obscene special dividends and management fees. If you would like more of the details of how Bain and their predecessor killed Toys R Us, you can check out the link in the description. But I think in the context of a video like this, the movie Wall Street does a good job of portraying leveraged buyouts.
We must have your assurance that you will pay back most of the loan in the first 12 months. And the only way we can see this happening is liquidating the hangars and the planes. Can you people guarantee the liquidation of Blue Store?
Guarantee? No sweat. We got the Beesburg brothers lined up to build condos where the hangars are. We lay the airplanes off to the Mexicans who are dumb enough to buy them. And I got the Texas boys drooling at my kneecaps for the roofs and the slants. What's your problem? It's done.
Price tags on 737s, gates, hangars, routes.
We got it nailed right down to the typewriters. Of course, the beauty of this deal is the overfunded pension. Gecko makes $75 million there. $50 million buys in the minimum annuities for 6,000 employees. And he walks away with the rest. I figure he'll clear $60, $70 million. Not bad for a month's work.
Leveraged buyouts also look like a more sophisticated legal form of the way organized crime busts out businesses, like we see in the movie Goodfellas.
Now the guy's got Paulie as a partner. Any problems, he goes to Paulie. Trouble with the bill, he can go to Paulie. Trouble with the cops, deliveries, Tommy, he can call Paulie. But now the guy's got to come up with Paulie's money every week, no matter what. Business bad? Fuck you, pay me. Oh, you had a fire? Fuck you, pay me. Place got hit by lightning, huh? Fuck you, pay me.
What if I get one of those TVs? Nah, I'll be so you didn't break anyone.
Also, Paulie could do anything, especially run up bills on the joint's credit. And why not? Nobody's gonna pay for it anyway. And as soon as the deliveries are made in the front door, you move the stuff out the back and sell it at a discount. You take a $200 case of booze and you sell it for $100. Doesn't matter, it's all profit. And then finally, when there's nothing left,
Fucking shame.
when you can't borrow another buck from the bank or buy another case of booze, you bust the joint out. You light a match.
Help reaching anything?
You look like you're decorating a Christmas tree, you fucking prick. You don't know what you're doing.
Because of Bain Capital, we no longer have a major toy store chain that I can think of. Small specialty stores still exist, as might some small chains. But for many people, Toys R Us was the toy store. So thank you, Bain Capital. Because of you, many children will soon not have any toy stores to go to. I still can't comprehend what kind of sick person takes part in this. How did these people get like this?
You merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until I was already a man. By then it was nothing to me but blinding.
Okay, that might explain it, at least for some of the people involved with Bain Capital. But for the rest of them, I wonder what kind of stupid junk they needed to buy with the money they swindled from Toys R Us to fill the holes in their souls. Defenders of unregulated capitalism often talk about the efficiency of the market, but a market in which physical toy stores disappear when parents and children still want the experience of going to them seems as inefficient as one in which people go homeless while foreclosed houses sit empty. Do we really want to live in a world that does not contain the sheer joy of a child in a toy store? I know Walmart and Target do most of the toy selling now, but that does not give the same experience as walking into a store that has nothing but toys and has a layout specifically designed for viewing toys. Where will the children go for that now? Think of the children. Can we really let Bain deprive them of this magical experience? Please, think of the children.
Oh, won't somebody please think of the children?
But don't worry, we can fix this problem. I know how we can stop Bain from eliminating toy stores. No, we don't light up the bat signal. We let the employees of Toys R Us, from the corporate office down to the most junior employees at its stores, buy the company. Worker-owned companies exist all over the world. They have many benefits for the workers, and many of them compete very well in the marketplace. Toys R Us would become a major one, and perhaps provide a positive example of how to convert other retail businesses to this model. Worker-owned businesses give employees ownership in the company. This has financial benefits for the workers, but it also gives them more say in how the company operates. So if the employees of Toys R Us had owned it to begin with, they probably would have voted to improve the stores instead of saddling the company with debt. Worker-owned businesses bring democracy into the workplace, an area of life that has very little of it otherwise. Every worker gets some form of ownership in the company. Every worker gets some kind of say in how the company operates. There are different ways of managing the ownership and governance of this kind of company. Different ways of structuring pensions, stocks, and different ways of making decisions. ESOPs, or employee stock ownership plans, seem like the most popular form of structuring the ownership of this kind of enterprise. If you would like to know more about worker-owned businesses, you can check out the links I have in the description for more information. I have them in both video and written formats. Some people like John McLegreer call it syndicalism. Others, like Richard Wolff, call it socialism, but for the 21st century. Yet, this is not something new. Companies like this already exist all over the world, including in the US. I will provide a link to a list of the largest employee-owned companies in the description. It includes a diverse list of businesses. I bake bread, and I always buy King Arthur flour because they are an employee-owned company. They make great flour and have done a good job competing in the marketplace. At least on the East Coast where I live, I see their flour in every supermarket. Speaking of supermarkets, a lot of people shop at some kind of collectively or cooperatively owned or run grocery store. But the industries that have cooperatively owned businesses range from construction, architecture, and engineering to healthcare, research, and manufacturing. So this model can work for nearly any business. This is not some kind of hippy-dippy pinko nonsense. According to Ernst & Young, ESOPs outperform the S&P 500 in terms of annual growth at 11.5% compared to 7.1%. A study by the Wharton School of Business found that ESOPs have higher productivity, profitability, job stability, and job growth than companies with different ownership structures. Because of this, ESOPs are less likely to go bankrupt, and ESOPs have been shown to expand employment more effectively. Competitive companies that provide workers with good job security, excellent retirement savings that outperform the S&P, and create more jobs than the alternative. Now, this all sounds great, but there is one hitch. For the employees of Toys R Us to buy the company would require some capital. They could raise that in one of two ways. First, through a loan. Government helps all kinds of corporate businesses with loans and subsidies, so they should do the same for worker-owned ones. A bank or other lending institution could also give them a loan. Second, if the government or a private lender does not want to finance the purchase, the employees could crowdsource the funds. In this instance, an effective public campaign could help. Think about what we would have if we pulled this off. A collectively owned toy store chain that reaches across the country. A toy store owned by the people who work there. We would also have a model and example that similar businesses in the same situation could follow. We keep seeing more of these retail chains going bankrupt. In 2016, we had 18 go under. In 2017, it almost doubled to 35. Many of these bankruptcies happened because of the private equity companies managing them. Payless Shoe Source, The Limited, Wet Seal, Gymboree, Rue 21, and True Religion Apparel all went bankrupt because of leveraged buyouts. Gymboree? I don't want to paint these people as cartoon villains, but they make it really hard when they keep going after things that bring children joy. In any case, if we can convert Toys R Us to a worker-owned cooperative, think of the shift in our economy and culture this could help create if others followed suit. This could transform the retail sector from one where employees have very little stake and say in the company they work for, to one in which they own a piece of a truly democratically run business. So perhaps in a roundabout way, Bain has actually done us a service.
We give it back to you, the people.
Perhaps Gordon Gekko was right.
Thank you. I am not a destroyer of companies. I am a liberator of them.
Now, of course, this might not work for all sorts of reasons. Toys R Us might be too far along in the bankruptcy and liquidation process to pull this off. But even if we can't do this for Toys R Us, we should keep this in mind the next time we see a retail business in this situation. It would require some willing employees at Toys R Us to organize, but I would suspect a lot of people at Toys R Us would like to keep their jobs and might accept a new idea like this. Who knows? Maybe Toys R Us has some people who would jump at the idea. A public campaign could also help. I won't claim this will not face obstacles, but it seems feasible. Things like the West Virginia teacher strike have shown that people of all political affiliations have had enough and want to work for something better, so maybe it could happen. And if that does not work, maybe then we can call Batman. I only have one real reservation about this. As much as I want to have toy stores around and want to see people own the means of production, I do have a problem with the inherent waste of current manufacturing life cycles. Most consumer products end up in the landfill a few months after they are made. This bothers me. Planned obsolescence and just plain shoddy manufacturing create tons of waste that not only fills your home with broken or half-broken junk, but also crowds landfills and wastes resources. As a parent, the number of toys that break within a week of getting them drives me nuts. Though perhaps a collectively run Toys R Us could work with manufacturers to address this. Ultimately though, I like this idea because I have very fond memories of going to the local Toys R Us store as a kid. So I guess that explains why, despite my problems with waste and consumerism, this sounds like such a good idea to me.
I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They've got the best for so much that you really flip your leg. From bike to chain, video game, and if the baby toy store there is, she wins. I don't want to grow up, the baby is my kid.
I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
More dolls, more toys, oh boy. I want to be a Toys R Us.
Thanks for watching, folks. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you really like what I do, please contribute to my Patreon or make a PayPal donation. I also have some tarot t-shirts for sale. They feature the major arcana of the Marseille tarot deck that you find decorating my channel. For this video, I have used the sun. It seemed the most appropriate. I have them available in different colors and styles, unisex, women's tees, long sleeve. I have links to all these in the description, along with citations from this video. I'm Greg Belvedere. Remember, all generalizations are stupid, so never speak in absolutes. Thanks for watching.